Hey ghouls, Tara Krueger, the sweetest psychopath you'll ever meet, and welcome back to my channel. Well, Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome back. I know I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks, which is for me a long time because I usually try to upload every week and more if I have time. But, you know, family, friends out of town, the holidays, it was so crazy. Mostly are here today for is we're going to go over the new Tarte Be Yourself. But today we're going to be talking about the Be Yourself palette from Tarte. Now, I have talked about this in my channel before. I was really excited for this to come out. At the time, Tarte had just released like a sneak peek and you couldn't really see the colors in it. Just like a few here and there. And the palette like never came out and I was like super excited for this. And then Urban Decay released their honey palette and still nothing. I got a notification on Instagram that Tarte commented on something, like they tagged me to let me know that the palette was available, and I was kind of like, are you guys gonna send me a free palette? But no, I had to buy it myself. And honestly, with free shipping on their website with tax, it came out to like about $30, which isn't bad. But the actual palette is right here. It has a clear case with the little thing. My fingerprints are already all over this. It's fucking dirty. And here is the actual palette itself. It has cute little prints in all the shadows. I like the little honeycombs and the bees and shit. I think that's really fucking cute. Honestly, I have been using this palette for a couple of days now, and I kept thinking that they were deteriorating as I was using the colors, but they actually look pretty good. They're all still there. I had another video recorded because obviously the video where I'm doing my makeup is different than how I have my makeup now. I was filming for this yesterday and kind of got interrupted like halfway through, so I didn't finish it. I went throughout the day and then I took off all my makeup without realizing I hadn't finished filming yet. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it again tomorrow. So here we are. I did a simple little look, kind of just use some of the colors that I've grown fond of in the palette here and there. So kind of just something very soft, very simple, because I do have some shit to go do right now. But yeah, overall, I really do like this palette. Now, it is something from the thing Tarte has called Sugar Rush, and I believe that's like an Ulta exclusive, and I don't know too much about it because I don't really shop at Ulta. I prefer Sephora or online shopping, but I have seen that Ulta has like their own little Tarte thing, and I think it's a Sugar Rush. So I'm not sure if this is actually in Ulta, but I bought mine on Tarte's website. Overall, the palette's good. Like, if you are interested in kind of something softer... Oh my god, I can't open it. But overall, it's pretty good if you're into something soft. And it has a lot of really good shimmers in here. They all work amazing. I have been using the palette, and I have been really fond of them. I really love this color right here. And this one, too, is pretty fucking pretty. I actually do have names. I thought they did it. The names are on the back, and the names all go from, like, be positive, be sweet, be change, be free, be brave, be loving, you get the fucking hint. Really do fucking... Oh, and if you're curious about what's on my lip, I'm wearing Freckled Fiesta from FENTY. These are some of my favorite lipsticks of all times. But yeah, overall, I think this palette is really fucking pretty. I love mixing these two shades right here with this one right here, and that's kind of what I created to darken up my crease and everything. But honestly, this is giving me like total summer vibes, and I feel like it was something that they're meant to come out with but never did, and kind of like kept pushing it back, and then it was forgotten because like it was random. Like I kept going back, and myself and other people were on their Instagram like, hey, whatever happened to this palette? Where is this palette? Finally, they finally released it, and it was just a couple of days before Christmas, so I feel it was kind of like a... They didn't have time to release it, they forgot to release it, but they're like, hey, we'll throw it out for the holiday. But honestly, I'm super happy that it did finally come out. Is it the best Tarte palette I've ever used? definitely not, but I do really enjoy it. Some of my favorite Tarte palettes have to be like the Swamp Queen. Actually, Swamp Queen is what I use for like my contour, blush, and highlight today. I love that palette so much. They need to make Sweet Tea, the bronzy color, like a full size like pan, because I would just fucking die for that. Of course, for eyebrows I use Anastasia. My foundation is NARS. If you're interested in this, like, I definitely say this is like something that you could definitely have fun with. Is it something you need? No, not at all. If it's something you don't already have in your collection, but it is definitely fun, and I really enjoy it. Like, the packaging itself is what really sold me on it. I thought it was fucking cute, because in all honesty, if this was probably just in a regular pan palette, I would have passed on it. But I mean, the quality is great. It works out fierce. If you're a fan of Tarte and love collecting makeup, especially things with cute packaging, this is definitely, I say, something you should pick up. But you don't necessarily need it. So in my downtime, I've had a few gigs. I've got to perform with some amazing people and some not so amazing people, which is what I'm going to tell you guys today. So actually I was filming. I was getting ready for this show in particular. I was doing my makeup, filming everything, and then at the end of the day, things got hectic because this show that I did actually took place in the town over from me. So like, it was a lot of traveling. Mostly with drag, like anywhere you go with a bunch of drag is just a fucking nightmare sometimes. So like, in the process of all that and being with my friends, I kind of forgot to film a lot of what I wanted to. And at the end of the day, I just had footage of me doing my makeup. So I'll probably recreate that look, because I really did like that look, and post it later. But anyways, so I'm not going to name the queens out of respect, not for her, but for the respect of the people who booked me and the people who put the show together, because they were super sweet and I really loved working with them. And I'm just going to tell you the tea of what happened on my end. So there's a certain queen who was on a certain season of a certain competition drag show, and they also had a career before they did drag, and I was a big fan of them for that. Being booked on this gig, I took my other friends with me, because I was like, oh, this is gonna be a fun thing, you know, like they were also fans of this queen before her drag career. And I don't know, I just thought it'd be a fun show. Like, usually every time I work on shows, especially with the queens from like Dragula or Drag Race, like they're usually super fun. There's been a few sour apples in there. Maybe if you guys want, I could do a video about like the shittiest like drag queens I've met, like that are famous, because there's a ton of shitty drag queens who are not famous, but the famous ones I've met, like I've met a handful, and I have the stories, girl, the shit you see backstage sometimes. So anyways, we're in the hotel getting ready. It's me, my two friends, and some of the other queens, and we're all kind of just hanging out and whatever before the show's beginning. And then you hear a knock on the door, and in enters this famous queen from the show. And instantly, like, I kind of already, like, I can honestly have, like, a sense where I can easily, like, oh, this person's not going to sit well with me. This person's going to be a problem. And just the way they entered the room, I was kind of like, okay, you know, benefit of the doubt, you know, whatever. But they're just a type of bitch who's so like, oh, been there, done that. Like, I'm so entitled to everything, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I walked up to the bitch because they had their makeup done in a fierce way. And I told them, like, oh my God, like, your makeup's really cool. And instead of just like, oh, thanks, whatever, like any normal human being would, he was just very like, this, I took like an hour, whatever. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever, it's still cute. Still then, I was kind of like, whatever, maybe that's just their personality. You know, sometimes people come up bitchy, even though they're not bitchy, but whatever. But then, some of the queens came into the room, and everyone's just kind of like talking, mingling, like, she was commenting on certain things that other people were doing, just kind of like in a way belittling them. In a way, I'm just kind of like, still I was kind of like giving it a bit of the doubt, like, okay, he's just uncomfortable with some of the situations and some of the conversations, I guess. No big deal. And as the show's supposed to start, we are all supposed to be at the venue at a certain time. We are still in the hotel room, kind of waiting on someone else, I think. I think one of the queens was still getting ready. And it's like, honestly, have you never been to a drag show? Where you are not on a drag show competition? Sometimes getting ready takes longer. Yes, you're in a time crunch. Yes, things have to go as planned. But every single fucking drag show that I've been in, and I've been in a lot of drag shows in a lot of different places, and drag queens never are on time. Like, fucking the show will say, it starts at this time. Fucking starts an hour and a half later. Like, it's just, a bunch of dudes trying to turn themselves into chicks, and it's gonna take a while. Some people take longer than others, you know, like, whatever the reason is, drag queens are always late. We were supposed to be at the venue at 9:30 because the show started at 10. It was like 10:36, like it was barely like 5-6 minutes past the time, and he's already bitching like, aren't we supposed to be there? Like, what's the tea? And honestly, the hotel was connected to the venue we were performing at, so it was seriously like a fucking 2-minute walk to the backstage area from where we had to be. But he was already kind of bitching about that. And one thing that with me is like, I don't care if you're famous. I don't care if you've been on Drag Race or Dragula or fucking whatever. I treat you with respect the way I treat everybody with respect, regardless if you've been on TV or not. Like, I treat everyone exactly the same. Like, I don't cater to anyone. I don't kiss anyone's ass. And, you know, I'm just friendly and respectable to everybody. But this bitch was kind of having a fit. All the other queens around me were kind of like kissing his ass in a way. And because I wasn't, and like every time he would say something a bit shady, I would kind of say something back to him, and he was not liking that at all. At all. But whatever, you know, sometimes like in drag, and that's the thing too, these young drag queens get so offended every time you guys say, someone says something shady back and forth. But honestly, that's just drag. I've been in this game a long time, and that's just how we all talk to each other. Usually it's a good time and it's funny, but sometimes people are so up the ass about it, and especially this bitch, he was not at all like having it. He could dish it out, but he couldn't take it back, and he was getting really like irritated about that. Finally, we're headed to the fucking show. We get backstage and we're all setting up, everyone's getting ready, and then again, it's barely gonna be 10 o'clock, and he's bitching already that why isn't the show starting? Why is nothing going on? Blah 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 this, blah blah that, and everyone's kind of like, oh my god, like I don't know, we'll get at the bottom of it. We'll get to the bottom of it, and I'm just like, bitch, shut up. Other people were already like changing outfits. For some reason, they wore one outfit to walk down the hallway to the dressing room to change again. Like, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so he was bitching about that. The show finally starts. He goes on, and he's hanging out backstage because he had 2 sets. And in between the show, I'm kind of standing in the air from backstage where you could see the stage and just watch the show. And I honestly, like I'm having like a Laganja moment. I don't remember like what had gone on at that point, but I already knew he was like just not having it with me, and I was not having it with his ass. So at one point I'm watching the show, and he walks down past the hallway where I am at watching the show, and kind of like shoulders me like really hard, and he is lucky I didn't turn around and fucking yank his ass back and do something, or just push him down the flight of stairs we were standing by, because I was like, okay bitch, like whatever. I'm not some whiny little faggot like you. I'm gonna be calm. Anyways, so at one point, like it was like there was maybe 1 or 2 queens before me, so I went backstage to like give myself one look over in the mirror again. And as I walked in, he was having a conversation with somebody, and they were talking about one other queen, and he was pointing in her direction, but because I had entered the room, I ended up in his fucking direction he pointed at, and he just made the comment like, not that fucking clown. And I just replied with like, I'm like, excuse me, you yellow toenail, because the outfit he was wearing was like this disgusting like rotted yellow outfit. And I was just all like, okay bitch, whatever. There he is still whining and shit, and after a while, okay, like he was whining because he didn't know what the lineup was, and I get that, but I even tried to like, oh here, let me find out what it was for you, and he kind of snapped at me again because I was trying to help him, and that was when I was like, fuck you idiot, whatever. But to put the cherry on top of all of it, I was still at the benefit, like he was not my favorite person at that moment anymore, but I was still trying to be like respectable to him. And as he was walking out, we were kind of in the little waiting area, and I asked him about his previous career before he did drag, which is a very like known platform if you know who this person is. And I mean, they went on tour. I saw them in concert like 3 times at least back in the day. So if you know who they are, you know where they came from and why, another reason why they're famous. So I had kind of like asked him a little bit about it, and he just fucking like shut down and looked at me and was like, did you really? Are you really fucking bringing that up? Like really pissed off. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was a sore subject for you. And then he's like, I could fucking slap the makeup off of you right now. And not even in a fucking playful way. Like, he was dead serious, like, about to hit me. And I was just kind of like, bring a bitch. As Parker Posey says, my lawyer liked that.
My lawyer liked that.
Not as much as I did.
He just fucking like, he was over it. He turned around and walked backstage again and waited till they called him out. But I was like, really? I mean, like, what do you do if a regular fan walks up to you and mentions your old career because that's where they know you from? And are you gonna fucking assault them too? Like, calm down, you tweaker. Like, calm down. Anyways, at the end of the show, the whole gig was over. I was leaving. I went to say goodbye to a friend. He was standing there, and as I went to hug a friend and say goodbye, he's like, good, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, shut up, bitch. I said something like, shut up, you fucking idiot. And he's like, stop trying to hit on me. I'm like, okay. But anyways, like I said, I'm not going to name who it was because I don't want to like disrespect the people who put the show together and the people who booked me. But honestly, if you can kind of connect the dots and see who it is, you could watch their runtime on the show they were on and see if they kind of had the exact same like bitchy, like cold, like overt personality. Like, believe me, if you know who it is, go rewatch their season. You'll see what I'm talking about. But anyways, with all that drama, I said, hopefully you guys get a good insight on what the Be Yourself palette from Tarte is like. Like I said, I really did enjoy it. I thought it was fucking cute. I love the looks I've been creating with it. And if you guys do pick it up, I hope you enjoyed as well. Like I said, quality is bomb. The shimmers are bomb. I love this palette. And I like that it's called Be Yourself, and I was just talking about how I was working with a queen who was a bitch. But you know what they said? Know who you are and deliver at all times. Anyways, with that said, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. That's Tara_Krueger. I'll leave it down in the link below, as always. But until the next time, smash that like button, hit that bell for notifications, subscribe to this channel, and until the next time, I'll see you girls later.